Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So I have sent them the link. If they come, please admit them.
Yes, sure. We'll admit.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we'll go till 8:15. How long?
Prabhuji, you can take about 45 minutes and
Okay.
15 minutes question answer you can give.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm very grateful to His Grace Rupa Vilas Prabhu and all of you devotees who have so graciously extended your invitation for our today evening's discussion on Lord Hari's Katha, on the pastimes of Lord Krishna and the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm very thankful and grateful to all of you. And I welcome everyone who have assembled in this assembly on the forum called Zoom. Now we'll try to Zoom in Hindi. You know, Zoom Barabar. We'll try to Zoom in Hari Katha, if you can follow me. So I would like to some of the devotees to switch on their videos and keep their audios on mute. Otherwise, I cannot see anyone. Hare Krishna, yes. Thank you, bro. Everybody, if they switch on their video, switch off their videos. I can't see anyone then. Just switch off your audio and on your video. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Kaustubh Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna. Narad Pram Prabhu ki jai. S.L. Pandey Prabhu ki jai. And I bow down my head at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas. I was thinking about discussing about Narada boy. How many of you heard of Narad Muni? I think everyone knows about Narad Muni. Okay. In India, what to speak of ISKCON? In India, every Indian, every Hindu, he knows about Devarshi Narada. Most of the Hindus misunderstand him. That he is the one who instigates fights between the devotees and other people also. Most of the Hindus feel like that. But If we study properly under the guidance of Srila Vedavyas, his great disciple, who compiled Srimad Bhagavatam under his guidance, then we understand he is not something a worldly person. He was a transcendental personality working under the direct direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana. And Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam gives very nice, extensive glorification of who is Devarshi Narada. There are about 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. In each and every canto, you will find the description and glorification of Devarshi Narada. In the first canto, he is described as how Narad Muni evolved from a Dasi Putra to great Devarshi Narada, or the direct son of Lord Brahma. In the second canto, he is asking question to Lord Brahma about the creation of the universe. In the third canto, he is there. In the fourth canto, he is delivering Dhruva Maharaj. In the fifth canto, he is convincing Priyavrat Maharaj to get married. In the sixth canto, he is there in the story of Vritrasur. He goes to the Maharaj Chitraketu along with Angira Rishi. In the seventh canto, entire seventh canto is spoken by Narad Muni only to Yudhishthira Maharaj. In the eighth canto is there, in the ninth canto is there, in the 10th canto is there. In the 11th canto, he is speaking to Vasudev in Dwarka. Like this, about all the Bhagavatam's canto speak about the glories of Narad Muni. Why it is so? Everywhere we find the glories of Narad Muni. The reason is that Srimad Bhagavatam's first canto, towards the end of the fourth chapter and fifth chapter, describes the glories of Narada boy. How a son of a maidservant evolves as the great Narad Muni. It's a very nice description, very nicely described by Srila Prabhupada, given very wonderful purports. Most importantly, it is very much applicable on a practical ground for us, those devotees who are practicing their sadhana, who are trying to implement the Krishna conscious principles under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master in this 21st century. The principles enunciated by Narada Boy and explained very nicely and lucidly by Srila Prabhupada are so practical and vital to our Krishna conscious life that we cannot just forget it or neglect it. Aho devarshirdhanyoyam yatkirtim sharangadhanvanaha gayan madhyam idam tantrya ramayatyaturam jagat. Srila Sutta Goswami says, see the great fortune of Shri Devarshi Narad Muni. Aho Devarshir Dhanyoyam Yat Kirtim Sharanga Dhanvanaha. What he does, he goes on glorifying and describing the glories of Sharanga Dhanvana, of the Lord who carried Saranga bow in his hand. Lord Narayana has a bow in his hand that is called as Saranga or Sharanga sometimes. His club is called Kaumudiki. His disc is called as Sudarshan. Every weapon has its own name. Yatkirtim Sharanga Dhanvanaha. The Lord's one name is Sharanga Dhanvana or Sharanga Pani, in whose hands there is a bow named Sharanga. Devarshi Narad Muni goes on describing and glorifying the glories of Sharangapani, Sharanga Dharman Shri Narayana. Gayan Madhyamidam Tantra Ramayatya Turam. Very enthusiastically he roams in the entire universal system. All three planetary system. The upper planetary system, the middle planetary system, and the lower planetary system. Three lok. Devadattam imam vinam swara brahma vibhushitam. Narad Muni is telling to Vyasadeva. Devadattam imam vinam. This stringed instrument that we call in Sanskrit as Veena. Narad Muni is telling to his disciple Vyasadeva, this is gifted to me directly by Krishna. And for his pleasure, I am singing his glories. So what happened? The history goes like this. About 5,000 years ago, when Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, wanted to become an author, he wanted to write something. So he incarnated as Srila Vyasadeva. Krishna Dvaipayan Padarayan Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva is Shaktavish avatar, incarnation of Sri Krishna. He just incarnated to compile and reconcile the Vedic literature and guide the humanity on following the path of dharma. So when Krishna departed for back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan, Krishna Swadham Upagate Dharma Jnanadi Bhisaha. When Krishna went, along with him went Dharma, Jnana, knowledge, religion, knowledge, truthfulness, austerity, all good qualities. They also personified, they were here on the earthly planet. But when Krishna departed for Golok Vrindavan, that time they also departed along with Krishna. In this way, Kalinam Adharma Bandhunam, the brother of Adharma is Kali. His reign started. And he started ruling the world. And that's how the very day when Krishna left for Golok Vrindavan, that day only Kali Yuga started. So considering the future anomalies of the Kali Yuga, considering the future pitfalls of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva saw the people of Kali Yuga, Mandaha Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyahi Upadruta, Tatascha Anudinam Dharmam Satyam Shaucham Daya Kshama, Kalena Balina Rajan, Aukshatya Ayu Balaspurti. My dear King Parikshit, in Kali Yuga, so this is how Vyasadeva is foreseeing, he is envisioning what will happen in Kali Yuga. That प्रायेनल्पायुषा सभ्य कलाव अस्मिन् युगे जनः मंदः सुमंद मतयो मंद भाग्या हि उपद्रुता. Prayenalpayusha, almost every living entity will have short lifespan. Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalav asmin yuge jana, and whatever alpayusha is there, that will be asabhya. It's uncivilized, isn't it? Day by day, every day, the humanity is degrading. Earlier, people were eating at home and going outside to respond to the calls of nature. Nowadays, people eat outside and they come home to respond to the calls of nature. This is how we are progressing. Whatever lifespan is there, even small, that is also asabhya. They used to sit down and eat, isn't it? Now they stand up and eat, and that's considered as a fashion buffet, isn't it? Earlier, they would wash their hands and legs before eating and after eating. Now, nothing. They just wipe with a tissue paper. So much uncivilized. What to expect of so many things? These are just some of the points that I mentioned about. See, uncivilized behavior of the so-called modern people. Mandaha sumanda matayo, very dull-headed. Sumanda matayo. And the intelligence is too much dull. Now you may say we are so much advanced, we have progressed so much. How can Vyasadeva call us as Sumanda Matayo, Manda? We have reached the moon. We have discovered so many scientific and technological discoveries. But we should remember that, my dear friends, it's not like that. That's not called as intelligence. Just we have made progress, we accept, but in a wrong direction. One time, one air hostess on board, she was making an announcement in the mid-air only. There is a good news and there is a bad news. The good news is that we are flying at the highest height of the history of mankind. Nobody has flown so high in the plane. And you are those fortunate flyers in our airlines. So we welcome all of you. And the bad news is that the only question is that we don't know where we are going. That's the only question. So we have guided missiles and misguided men. We have progressed, undoubtedly. We have achieved what could have been impossible for so many people. But how we are utilizing these modern scientific discoveries and facilities? Most of them for sense gratification. Most of them, everything. Ahar, Nidra, Bhai, and Maithun. Only for these four so-called happinesses, we are trying to engage with scientific and technological discoveries just for that purpose. Beg, borrow, and steal, and do anything. But I want to have these four things. Happiness is divided in these four things. And our entire accumulative scientific progress is engaged in that way. Forgetting about the ecology of the world, forgetting about the ecology of the family, forgetting about the ecology of the society, and forgetting the ecology of the heart. That's why Vyasdev, he said, Manda Sumanda Matayo. People of Kali Yuga will not understand how to be happy only. That's why they are Manda. That's why they are dull-headed. That's why he started to compile Vedic literature. Earlier, the Vedas were just spoken and the disciple would hear. That's all. There was nothing called as notes, pen and paper. It was not existing only. The students were having photographic memory. That's why they were called as Shrutidhar. And then Vasudev could understand the future anomalies of Kali Yuga, the difficulties of Kali Yuga. Then he decided to write down the Vedic literature. He compiled the four Vedas. He divided one Veda, Yajurveda was there. He divided into four, Ruk, Sam, Atharva, and Yajur. Then he compiled 108 Upanishads, Brahadakas, Aranyakas, Samhitas, Puranas. Despite compiling huge piles and piles of literature. Srila Vyasadeva, na tushyat hrudayam tatha evam pravrittasya sada bhutanam shreyasi dvija. Despite doing all those literary works for the benefit, bhutanam shreyasi dvija, for the benefit of bhutas, shreyasi, na tushyat hrudayam tatha, still his heart was not satisfied. By the way, he never broke any regulatory principles. He followed all regulatory principles. He was chanting his rounds. He was following all the Vedic rules and regulations, whichever was required to be followed by him. Whatever was assigned to him, everything he followed. And despite following all the regulatory principles, despite being an obedient follower of the Vedic parampara, despite compiling lots of Vedic literature which was humanly impossible, na tushyat hrudayam tatha, his heart was dissatisfied. Srimad Bhagavatam's first canto's fourth chapter describes very nicely at the end of the fourth canto around. There, Narad Muni, his guru, Srila Vyasadev's guru, there was Srila Narad Muni. And Narad Muni's Gurudev is Narada Rishi in Badrinath. So Narad Muni quite often used to come to meet our Guru Maharaj, that is Narada Rishi. So that's why he made his ashram in Badrinath, because whenever his guru would come, he would get some chance to meet him like that. So that's why we are connected to Radha Rajbari temple. Here there is Prabhupada's office, so whenever our Guru Maharaj comes, we can meet him. Something like that. So Vyasa, that's why he made his ashram in Badrinath. That's called as Samya Prasha. Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam Ashramaha Pashchime Tate. Brahmanadi Saraswati, on the bank of the Saraswati's western bank side, there is an ashrama called Samya Prash. That is Vyasadev's ashram. He was sitting there in the morning hours, despondent at heart. Despite doing everything, my heart is not satisfied. Where did I commit mistake? I don't know. Who will guide me? That time his Gurudev appeared there. And he started smiling. Oh, Vyasadeva, you have done so nice work. You have compiled entire Vedic literature. We are so happy with you. Parashwarya Mahabhaga. So then Vyasadeva, he, as an ideal disciple, he was not enamored by the glorification of Narad Muni. He submitted himself. Honestly, my dear Guru Maharaj, please don't glorify me. I am not qualified to hear this glorification because my heart is not satisfied. I am still dissatisfied with my heart. And I don't know the reason. Asteva me sarvamidam to yoktam tatha pinatma paritushyate me tanmulam avyaktam agada bodham pruchamahe tvatma bhavatma bhutam. My dear Gurudev, whatever you have spoken, it's all right. Vasteva me, whatever you have spoken, it's all right. Idam tvayoktam. You are glorifying me for my writing ability. That's all right. But tathapin atma paritushyate me. This submissive, humble attitude of Vyasadeva pleased his Gurudev. He honestly accepted that his heart was not satisfied. Had he been like a normal, any other devotee like us, he would have been happy. Oh, my Guru Maharaj is glorifying. Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Narad Pran, you are doing very nice. Oh, Kaustubh Krishna, you are doing very nice. Then we forget. When our Guru Maharaj is glorifying, that means we are supposed to work on that quality. If he is saying, Pandyan Prabhu, you should chant attentively. You are chanting attentively. If he is glorifying, that means I should chant attentively. If he says, Kaustubh Krishna Prabhu, you should chant attentively. No. Suppose, if he says, Kaustubh Krishna Prabhu, you are chanting attentively, that's not a glorification. We should consider I should work on chanting attentively. That's how we should take it. If he says, Narad Pran Prabhu, you are doing so nice seva, you are reading so many Bhagavatam shlokas every day, that means I should read actually. So Vyasadeva understood this, spiritual mathematics. He said, my dear Guru Maharaj, what you are saying is all right. But tatapin atma paritushyate me. My heart is not deeply, pari means at the core of my heart. Tushyate me. Tanmulam avyaktam agada bodham. And I do not know the root cause. Tanmulam avyaktam, which is unmanifested to me. Agad, I cannot understand. Bodham. Prucham hetvatma bhavatma bhutam. So am I asking you, please guide me what is the root cause of my despondency. Then Narad Muni, as a merciful spiritual master, he corrects his disciple Vyasudev. Jogup sitam dharma krute nushasitam. What you have written is all rubbish. Earlier he glorified, and later on he says all rubbish. It's not going to help the humanity at large. Just discard everything. Just keep it aside. And you should just compile Srimad Bhagavatam. Just simply write the pure glorification of Lord Krishna. Nothing else. That will suffice the need of humanity in Kali Yuga. They don't need to do anything else. The Bhagavatam is sum and substance of entire Vedic literature. Because I studied Bhagavatam in my previous life. Ekatmaja me janani yoshin mudha chikinkari mayatmaja nanyagato chakre snehanubandanam. I was the only son of a maid servant who didn't have anything. She was just a destitute lady who was serving near a Gurukula. And I got the opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and serve the great devotees who were living by the Bhagavatam's principle. And I was initiated, and thus I progressed in my life. And my dear Vasudev, it will be nice if you could describe the pure glories of Sri Krishna and nothing else. So there is an entire huge story. This topic of Narada boy, how he evolved as Narada Muni, is a topic of 7 days, Bhagavad Katha. It is just an introduction. This is a brief introduction, not also introduction. This is a brief introduction. This is a kind of a brief, introduction only for the topic. And thereon how Narada Muni implements all the principles, how it goes ahead, how he travels from the forests, how he meditates, and how Krishna appears in his heart, how he becomes Narad Muni in the next life. These are all topics, step by step, they go ahead. But in essence, the compiler of all the Vedic literature was dissatisfied, and when he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, he got satisfaction. What not? Everything is explained in the Vedic literature. How to make gold from the iron, that is being explained. Who will not like to know that? Still Vyasdev was dissatisfied. Isn't it? Suppose if our SL Pandian Prabhu comes to know how to make iron from gold, how to make gold from iron, will he sit here for the class? She will sit, is a devotee. Isn't it? But it's a question for the common public. Still he was dissatisfied. Despite knowing this art, he was dissatisfied. That means Bhagavatam is higher than anything else. When he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhashyam Brahma Sutranam, when he compiled Bhashyam of Brahma Sutranam, that is Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, then he got satisfaction. And that's how Narad Muni also got converted from a son of a maid servant to a great son of Brahma's direct son in the next life, just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And yesterday was Bhadra Purnima. Under the guidance and leadership of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, we have been distributing Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world, in India and specifically in Zuhu. If you don't know the story of Srinivas Acharya, if I get the opportunity next time, sometime I'll tell how Srinivas Acharya came to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. But Mahaprabhu had already departed and he was despondent, he fainted. And then Mahaprabhu appealed to him and told him, you should go and study Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. He comes to Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit says, okay, I'm happy to teach you Bhagavatam, but the Bhagavatam I have is a handwritten. And because of all the tears that flowed from the eyes of Gaur Sundar and my own eyes, They have washed away the ink of the Bhagavatam. Please go and get new Bhagavatam from Navadip. From all the way to Jagannath, from Jagannathpur to Navadip, he walks and copies another set of Bhagavatam. It takes another 1 year. Then Gadadhar Pandit departs. And from there, he got the instruction from Gaur Gadadhar to go to Vrindavan and study Bhagavatam from Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. All the way to study Bhagavatam, he goes to Vrindavan, to about 2000 kilometers. Just imagine the struggle just to read and get one Srimad Bhagavatam. By the mercy of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Prabhupada, he has mercifully given the mercy of entire Guru Shishya Parampara in his purports. In the Bhaktivedanta purport, the Bhaktivedanta purports are not only his own purports, these are the purports of the entire Vaishnava Guru Shishya Sampradaya. Of all the acharyas of all the sampradayas, not only Gaudiya Sampradaya, he quotes Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, he quotes everyone, Veer Raghava Acharya, he quotes almost all the acharyas, he quotes Vallabhacharya. So everything is there with us. So following the footsteps of Srila Srinivasa Acharya, Narad Muni and Vyasadeva, if we study this literature in our own lives and if we distribute to others, where is the doubt that we will not go back to Godhead? Definitely, we will go back home, back to Godhead. There is no doubt about it. So on the day of Bhadra Purnima, it's a special concession. Just like on Amazon, you might be shopping, special concession, sale on a particular day. And before that day, it ends. So Bhadra Purnima is a sale day, once in a year. So similarly, there is a Kartik. Now there is Purushottam Mass that we are approaching. So there are special concessions, sales being announced by Krishna every now and then. But we can do anytime, 24/7, 365 days a year. We can do this Bhagavad distribution anytime and go back home, back to Godhead. I am very much inspired by this group of Rupa Vilas Prabhu. I was told, I am the one who is making the score actually. I got the score yesterday. I think about around 70 or so, more than that Bhagavatam sets you people have distributed. It's so glorious. I would remind you, this is Corona pandemic. Narad Pran Prabhu, if you are watching television, every day there is a Corona news. Every day there is a Corona news. Everywhere, all over the world is hit by this pandemic very badly. The economy is slow. People are afraid. And there is no money. Even if there is a money, people have the tendency to deny by saying, lockdown hai, dhando nathi. Correct? Kausto bro? Dhando nathi. So, despite all these challenges, you people, specifically this group of Rupilas Prabhu, people have done wondrous miracle. Just for one Bhagavatam said, Srinivas Acharya had walked all the way thousands of kilometers. And this group has distributed 70 Bhagavatam sets. And I was told by Rupa Vilas Prabhu, they are enthusiastic to do something more. You know, when Prabhupada went to America, what did he carry with him? Nothing. Only 3 volumes of first canto. And he was thinking, now I have my weapons. Now I have my arsenals to fight with Kali. Just imagine. Just imagine the great mercy that your group is getting actually. I'm so glad and happy. I'm encouraged and inspired by your enthusiasm because it's not easy. It's not easy to distribute Bhagavatam, first of all, because people are interested in only sense gratification. To convince them to get Bhagavatam is a big job. And in this challenging time of Corona is a very great challenge. So, but still, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada's office, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, I just thank all of you and I'm very grateful that you people are doing it enthusiastically and I hope that you will continue this mission of spreading the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have come up with this idea of library party, means I have the list of around 100 to 100 libraries of Maharashtra. So, and the colleges. So we keep this most of the Bhagavatam sites in the libraries. Whatever donation comes, we go and place them free of cost in their libraries. So whichever student comes and they touch the Bhagavatam, they get benefited. Prabhupada liked it very much. So I'm working on that project personally. So we are very happy and glad to know about your enthusiasm in distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. The same Bhagavatam which Narad Muni told Vyasadeva, with Vyasadeva has written, and what Srila Prabhupada, what Srinivas Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard, Garadhar Pandit spoke, what Ramanand Rai spoke, what the Gaudi Sampradaya, or Sridhar Swami wrote, everything is reconciled in Bhaktivedanta purports. Just like breast milk of a mother, how much important it is for a newborn child. It is the only sum and substance of food for the child. So similarly, for the modern people of this Kali Yuga, in the most degraded age, the breast milk is Bhaktivedanta purports. And you, great Bhurida Jana, the great munificent devotees, are distributing this nectar, ambrosial nectar, to everyone. I very, very thank all of you. And I thank here. If there, I stop here. And if there are any questions, I welcome them now.
If you want to say, take some extra time, you can take, Prabhuji. 15
No,
minutes more if you want to take. No
No,
problem.
now we'll have question and answers.
Okay, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Narad Prabhuji. Questions? Devotees, whoever wants to ask question, kindly raise the hand.
Yes.
Yes.
Dandvat Prabhuji, very nice.
Dandvat Pranam, Narad Pranam ki jai.
We are very, very, very pleased to hear this katha of Naradji. In fact,
Yes.
I was also
inspired to-
thinking, I was thinking to write something on Naradji. So I was thinking, because this is the, as you have said, he is everywhere in Bhagavatam, all the cantos he is there.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful glorification of Narad Muni.
What to speak
And
of
he is a-
Bhagavatam? What to
and
speak of
he-
Bhagavatam? He compiled Ramayana. His disciple is Valmiki.
Yes. And not only he has got disciple like Dhruv Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj. So all sort of big devotee.
I got inspiration from your name, Narad Pran. Narad Muni's Pran is Bhagavatam.
Actually, Prabhuji, I am also getting inspiration because my name is. So I thought I must know about Naradji because my name is there like that. So
This
I'm trying
Narada's
to.
topic. Wait a minute. This Narada's topic is of 7 days Bhagavad Katha topic. I just gave you some brief introduction.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead. Yeah.
So I am
any
very
questions?
Much, question is, Prabhuji, that Narad Muni, as you said, he was a maidservant boy. So it was in which period? Because then he became son of Brahma. So how this is correlated?
In another kalp,
Okay.
not in this kalpa, aham puratito bhave bhavam mune. He says, puratito. In some other kalpa, I was the maidservant son. He says that. In the first canto, you will find this explanation.
Okay.
Fourth and fifth. Read the end of the 4th chapter, full 5th chapter, and 6th chapter of the first canto.
Okay.
Yeah.
4th and 6th, yes.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah. There you will find the description. Very nice.
Yes, sir.
Any other
So
questions?
It was in the last kalpa. He was a maidservant boy.
No, we cannot say. Narad Muni doesn't say that it was in the last kalpa. It may be previous to that also.
Oh.
Second last also, or third last also, or the fourth last also, in some other kalpa.
But then he was not visible after so many kalpas. Then he came only in this kalpa as a son of Brahma. So how?
See, the problem with us is that we cannot determine the time span. We cannot apply our logic of time span. कि कब उनका जन्म हुआ और कब उनका तिरोभाव हुआ. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It might have happened that in the previous kalpa he was made servant son, and then now he has become Narada. It might have happened that he might be in the second last, and the last kalpa he might be in Vaikuntha, like that. We can't say.
Okay.
Whatever is available source, it's like that.
Okay. Very nice. Thank
Yes.
you.
Vastu Prabhuji.
Yeah. Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
we have been getting the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam from you, and we are blessed. Our group is blessed. Is it possible for you that once in a week at least you can come and bless us?
Prabhuji, I am the servant of Rupa Vilas Prabhu. Whatever Rupa Vilas Prabhu tells me, I try to follow his footsteps.
Once in a week at least.
I don't mind, Prabhuji. It's my great fortune to be amongst all of you great Vaishnavas like yourself, Narada Prabhu, Pandyan Prabhu, and all of you. And it will be my great happiness, but I follow the instructions of my dear.
Do not include my name there. They are very stalwart. I am in the last. So
Whatever is there,
do
that
not
itself is
include
your
along
glory.
their name, Prabhuji.
No, this humble attitude itself is your glory.
Very elevated souls there. They are my Shiksha Gurujis.
So if Rupa Vilas Prabhu orders me, I will be able to serve you, Prabhuji. I will be happy to serve you.
Yes.
We
yes,
don't
that is
order any person, we only request.
No, he's
But-
asking Rupdas Prabhuji.
But Rupa Vilas Prabhu is my instructor. Whatever he says, I follow. He is my Shiksha Guru also.
Yes, yes. So we have to approach Rupdas Prabhuji for Prabhuji ki service ke liye. Hari bol.
Especially because on Fridays, Rupalas Prabhuji wanted to take rest.
Okay.
So if it is possible on Fridays.
Okay, no problem. My Friday is off also. I don't have any, because Saturday I'm having a class, Sunday I'm having a class. Friday I'm free actually. I'll be happy to serve you.
Please, we'll be obliged and
Oh,
blessed.
I'll be obliged amongst all of you great stalwart devotees.
Thank
Okay,
you so much.
so we stop here.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anybody
Thank
else
you very
has
much.
any?
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
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 Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Bhagavad Pad Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Rupa Vilas Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Narad Pran Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Kaustubh Krishna Prabhu ki
Jai.
No.
His grace.
Rupa Vilas Prabhu ke group ke
Bhajan
Pandyan
Prabhu
Prabhu
ki.
ki Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Krishna Bhajan Prabhuji ki Jai.
Now I'm leaving.
Hari bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice katha.